Now, Ukraine says drone strikes in Dnipro have killed at least 9 people. Russia carried out a wave of attacks across areas in eastern Ukraine. Strikes have been reported in Poltava, Kharkiv and the port city of Odesa, as well as the capital, Kyiv. The Ukrainian military is warning Russia is planning a large-scale offensive to break through its defenses on the front line. President Volodymyr Zelenskyy says Ukraine is ready to hold direct talks with Russia, but only if a ceasefire is in place. His comments come as a Ukrainian delegation is due to meet allies in London for talks about a possible peace deal.
If the Russians are ready for a complete ceasefire, then, after a complete ceasefire, with an understanding of how long it will last, we are ready for any format of negotiations with them. Any format.
Let's go to Zein Basravi. He's live for us in Kyiv. So, Zein, these latest attacks being seen as part of a bigger plan for a breakthrough Ukrainian lines?
Well, that is something that Russian forces have been trying to do for some time, specifically on the Eastern Front, specifically in the Dnipro region. Now, they've been fought to a stalemate, a slow-moving one that is still seeing Russia gaining territorial ground kilometer by kilometer, but Ukrainian forces say they're making them pay heavily for every inch of Ukrainian territory they are occupying. Overnight, we saw a number of strikes that went into this morning, at least 6 different regions affected. Dnipro, 9 dead, 32 now injured. And what's interesting about this is the drone hit a bus in the early morning hours at around 8 a.m. local time. And this is the second time, at least in recent memory, that we've seen public transport targeted in the morning, almost guaranteed to cause civilian casualties as people begin their day. There were also attacks that affected a number of bits of civilian infrastructure, residential buildings. We saw attacks in the Kyiv region, in the Basravi district. A restaurant and a hotel complex there was targeted and caught fire. We saw similar strikes in Odesa, Kharkiv, Poltava, and in Kherson, Russian forces destroyed a key energy facility, critical energy infrastructure once again being directly targeted. And what we're hearing is that power outages are expected in the coming hours and days because of that Kherson energy infrastructure being targeted.
And what do we expect out of those talks in London?
Well, President Volodymyr Zelenskyy has put down some red lines for Ukraine. He says there will be no territorial concessions. So any talk of giving up Crimea for good, recognizing it as Russian, that's not going to happen. Giving up territory that Russia currently holds or lays any sort of claim to, that's a non-starter. NATO membership, Zelenskyy said in his press conference yesterday, ahead of these talks expected later today, that is solely the decision made by NATO members, that Russia as an outside player cannot have essentially a veto power, as he described it in terms of membership. And control of Zaporizhzhia nuclear plant is another thing that Zelenskyy says is a red line. Only Ukraine can operate that plant. There were a number of other preconditions that he says negotiators are aware of, and only those are the things that are allowed to be discussed at any sort of talks. And he says the first thing towards any ceasefire talks must be a ceasefire itself, a truce being put into place before anything else can be discussed.
Okay, thanks so much, Zein Basravi there, our correspondent in Kyiv.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.